Hello everyone and welcome back to SliverStar Arcade and more. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I think that's... I don't know. I don't have the case with me. Anyways, in the last episode, we proved that Dr. Wilson was already dead before the gunshot ran out. And it turns out Miss Brett actually can speak Japanese. Which means who knows what she's been telling the truth about. Now, I suspect that she poisoned him, then dropped a gun to get someone to pick it up, then shot him. Shot the dead body. That's what I'm thinking. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. What? Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? So it is Japanese. I got it right. Hell yeah. Nice little curtsy. Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country after all. But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. Oh, she's a snob. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtue of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level.
Oh, well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously offer us.
Yeah, you know, it's, only the British. At least in this time period. Well, actually, everyone was doing it in this time period. But go to some place, make a treaty, say, hey, we're glad to be friends. And then still think of them as nothing but savages. Alright. Preparatory English B word. Let's get on with it. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So, we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interested, Ryosuke. Ryosuke, yeah, let's do it. The victim's death. Finally, sometimes substance. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. Yeah, but well, guess what? We don't do autopsies where we check for poison. Literally, a police officer said, yeah, that's a gunshot. And that was it. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigation techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. We're Japanese. We know what poison is. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it. Now, I hope that is the last I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Now, I don't advocate for violence. But sometimes a person just needs to be punched in the mouth. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. There it is. There it is.
Not at all, not at all. It's a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of victims burns utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Mr. Justice.
May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Jesus.
What? Thanks? Was that a prayer then?
Yeah, prayer from my neck to prayer for me to swing from a rope. Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with the witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Really? It's so weird because the sound is delayed for me, but not you guys. Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. The victim's death. Unfortunately, I have no idea how the poor man burnt his press. But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? Huh? What? Ah! What fun! Oh, what fun! I can't do a British accent. But I do like this pose. You hadn't realized.
The dear lady is absolutely right.
As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryosuke. Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing?
Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can.
Yes! Well, I can't. Anyway. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glass in a toast. Yes! As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right?
Dr. Wilson is only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember.
Yeah, I know, I brought it up.
Which explains why he ordered that drink, correct, waiter?
Exactly, as you say, sir. Although...
Although?
Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you.
I have enough English to understand that at least. For the benefit of others in court, it means bless you.
I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway. As far as I've heard, the postmortem report showed no other possible causes of death beside the gunshot. Yes! Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhaging from ballistic trauma. Yes.
Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been the bullet from the gun that put an end to this incident.
Your gun. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it hadn't cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to... If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burnt his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point.
And yet the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove this, this is a complete waste of time.
I concur. Prosecutor Ouchi is right. Ugh. If there's some other means a man's life can be taken without a trace, please do show me. Isn't the assassin's teapot a Japanese thing? Where like you hold a hole, you know, you pour it regularly, tea comes out, but if you hold a special hole, poison comes out. Without leaving a trace. If someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height, or their audio is ripped from them. However, a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Yeah, let's see if he shat blood.
Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosanaga?
As I've said, I've always aimed for a flawless investigation. I can see why the cops are so incompetent in the future if this was their starting ground. Oh great, now it's just cut out altogether. How lovely. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. Yeah, poison. If heaven forbid you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Ugh.
Oh no, perish the thought, calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, Takasuchi Ouchi will cut down any who dare cast such aspirations.
A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. Evidence. But of course, this country's inferior investigation techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyways. Inferior? What do you mean by that? What she means is this inferior recording equipment. In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate at once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so?
Quite right, Lakamba is open for business as usual today, just after the incident.
Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. He coughed so much it broke the audio. Now, if this is not direct slander against the Japanese police, I don't know what is. It doesn't even occur to your naive detective to try and preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand?
Aha, killer blow. The lady's as formidable as she is beautiful.
Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchi is finally starting to see sense? I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. But there's a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Ryosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma? What, Ryosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. Yeah, he's poisoned too. He keeps bleeding. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Osanaga, the detective. Yes, he seemed to react a little strange to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing on that last statement one more time. And then I get to click on his thought bubble. Oh my god, this game is genius. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. He doesn't know if he drank from the water, because he drank from the water, and that's why he coughs up blood, because he's been poisoned. God, I'm a genius. I wonder what Cosmo's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once I press Miss Brett's on our last statement. That. Press.
Yes!
Oh, an autosave. Yeah, we've seen this.
Wait.
Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him, he's lost his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry, pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Rinosuke. 1 second. Had to let the cat in. I'll explain how to do it now. It all has to do with the witness marker. What marker? At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making... I can't stop yawning today. Making the current statement. But by moving the marker left or right with the D-pad, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witness, you'll be able to pursue them with A. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people in the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with blank and focus on the detective. Then pursue him with A and see what's on his mind. Here we go.
Wait.
And pursue.
Excuse me.
Oh. Yeah, what's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. It looks like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps haven't heard what the lady next to you had to say. If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court.
Objection! What is the meaning of this? It's a delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately.
Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yeah. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's initially involved with this case. Inspector Osanaga. Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Boy, we need to get you to a doctor. Well, yes, if you don't mind. I would like to speak. She ain't gonna like that. Boy, she'll kill you right now. She's already killed one. She's probably killed back in England. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosanaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. Preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I done. Boy just wanted some sparkling water and got poisoned. A crime scene thief. Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Oh, she don't like that. Is that... This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been open 3 days now. But it was carbonated water, I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's something left in the bottle, I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. Yeah, if you're sure about that. Even, it doesn't matter if you're talking in the Phoenix Wright universe or in real life. Let's just say you had very high hopes, and like all of our 18th or 19th century ancestors, you'd be very disappointed with what we have. I mean, hey, at least Gumshoe's a good cop. Or is he a detective? Is Gumshoe a detective? I think he might be a detective. The time is coming, I can guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will now accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. It was on the victim's table. Miss Brett. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. You know, you could have said no. You could have said no, called the dying detective a liar, prolonged the trial by a bit, have him die on the spot, and then be your word against mine. Like, I mean, you didn't have to shoot yourself in the foot here. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. My voice. Very well, counsel. You may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. The way brought me my steak. First time I raised the glass of tip. Oh, let me go into examine. Labels written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Cosma? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. 1 second. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I'm asking. Then go to France and ask. Sorry, not Phoenix. Ryonosuke looks very American, like a strapping American boy. But our friend here is probably the most Asian Ace Attorney character I've seen yet. Maybe it's the eyes. You could just say you don't know. I can't find anything out of place. So this is carbonated water. So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. It looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. Don't, it's poison. No Ryosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryosuke. In more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Can I present the bottle? I have 4 strikes left.
Yes!
What is this? The bottle of water. Actually, is one method of killing the man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? That would explain why you're coughing up blood all the time, buddy. Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Everyone's real quiet. Order, order, order! And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip that poison into his drink? There's only one person who could have possibly done it. Giselia Brett, it was you. Well, I mean, it could have been the waiter. But
This is outrageous! To suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence! You little rookie imbecile, have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
those are valid concerns. This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime.
What?
The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth.
If I may, I will silence you forever for this disgraceful attack.
Oh, shut up. It is you who should be silent.
Of course. Dear lady!
That really killed my voice. Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. What are you referring? I described your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector. And whether it contained poison or not. Yeah, he did. That's why he's coughing up blood. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And? What did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. No! Well, you said not in this country. I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you.
But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours.
It was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution has asserted, a shot to the chest from the gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad this matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present to court at this point? Kazuma! I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving. Hey, Inspector, you wanna, like, just drop dead for a few seconds so we can prove it was poisoned? Oh, hey! Please wait. Isn't that... What does the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Sasota Mikotoba, judicial assistant to the defense. Mikotoba, in my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. Our version of Maya. Or Mia. I don't know, who came in clutch more? Mia always came as a spirit, but it was usually because of Maya or Pearl. Regardless, I'm happy. Also, potential love interest? Question mark? And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. Oh yeah, that's right, she had to go get a package. To be continued. Jesus, how long is this first trial? I thought the other trials were like 2 hours long. You gotta love that music. Sure, let's save. Oh, part 2. Now I'm on the part 3. You know what? Yeah, this is a good place to end it. We're going to end this episode. We're going to try and go for smaller episodes because having hour and a half long episodes each time is a bit ridiculous. In the next episode, we will see what this package is. And hopefully, we'll get ourselves through this trial. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, have fun, and have a great day.